Thank you for tuning in. This is episode 22 of Live Free with Rebecca. I left the office earlier today. I'm at the house, as you can see, the ranchito. We have a 10-acre homestead here in Central Texas. And sometimes I don't really know where I live. I'm like, do I live at the office or do I live at the house? Because I kind of like live at both places, especially when we're preparing for a big event. But there are a lot of projects we have in the works here at the ranch as we prepare for the Exit and Build Land Summit. We have invited our VIP sponsors, speakers over for a dinner on Saturday night. And we are really excited to be joined today by Gloria Merrick of Lavender Moon Spaces, who actually is going to be DJing for that party. So super exciting. So I'm going to bring Gloria on. We are in full preparation mode for the Exit and Build Land Summit, but I think it's important as well to have these conversations to get people jazzed up about the more fun aspects of a conference, and then also just the work that we're doing in general. Gloria's doing great work in this space. We connected over finding land here in Central Texas. I know many of you are following our project, acquiring 100 plus acres in Central Texas to build out a groovy eco development where we hope to have autonomy and the ability to foster a sense of community and building out food production systems, to really just build a new earth and kind of explore what it takes to make a larger scale alternative human settlement, a regenerative human settlement. So I feel like our 10-acre property has been kind of like an incubator for this idea. You guys are all going to be able to see it in person at the Exit and Build Land Summit if you purchase a VIP ticket. And you'll be joined by amazing Gloria at the event, who will be DJing. So let's bring Gloria on. Hi,
Gloria. Hey, thanks so much for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, I'm so happy we connected. It was so funny because I think it was like in January or December, I kept getting tagged on things like you were posting, and then like things I was posting, friends would tag you. So like a lot of the work you're pursuing has a lot of overlap with what I'm pursuing. So I wanted to have you on the show to connect. So your background, you said you have a lot of background too in like construction, and you've just launched the glamping business, Novolux. Is that what it's called? I'll let you kind of introduce yourself and talk about all those fun projects.
No, thank you so much. That's a great introduction. Yeah. So thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure to meet everybody. I honestly, got connected to the Freedom Cell Network, and my husband and I were living in California, and we wanted more freedom, and all the signs kept pointing to Texas. So we start looking around, and we're like, okay, where in Texas? And we end up landing in Rockdale, and we bought 10 acres of raw land, and we had somehow stumbled across the Freedom Cell Network. And I knew about John and Rebecca, and I had kind of heard about you guys. There's some other friends, and so it was so cool to end up getting connected through a whole nother string of different connections on Facebook and tagging and stuff. So yeah, that was really cool to get reconnected here. And so my company, Lavender Moon Spaces, started out as a design and build agency for off-grid van and bus conversions. I even did a horse trailer. One of the biggest projects I did was a 30-foot schoolie. And before that, I had been working in my family construction business with my dad, and I did everything from the online marketing and sales to I started to get into estimating, and then I started to get into remodeling, and then I started learning all the different trades, and then I started managing the subcontractors and having full projects. And then I got my real estate license, and him and I started flipping houses together. And that's when I felt like my spark really started to come alive for one of the first times in my life. But after a few years, it kind of started getting to burnt out, and I was looking for an alternative, because as a real estate agent, you're really only selling to, in California at the time, it was people that could afford something like 500,000 or more. And I just felt like there was a whole community of people that could afford something, but not at that price. And so I started looking at different things, mobile spaces. There's a lot of freedom around having something on wheels, when it comes to parking it on land. So I started looking into that, and that's what inspired the agency. I had a I had a shuttle bus go viral on YouTube, and that kind of launched the whole business. So it's been a lot of growth since then. This last year, I rebranded and relaunched that business to partner with the best vendors in the alternative and sustainable and regenerative space, so that instead of being having my hands in the operations of the building and the manufacturing, I could really focus on showcasing these things on land. So that's another part of the project I'm working on. It's my first development project, and there's so much to learn along the way. But I guarantee you, if you just continue to learn and get interested and surround yourself with the right people, find some investing networks, it's definitely been worth it. So it's been about 8 months figuring out how to achieve this specific project of setting up 11 glamping domes, and it's going to be in partnership with yeah, there's the website. Yeah. So this is an example exactly what she has up here. It's basically a dome with a bunch of other smaller domes. So the concept for Novolux will include different sized domes, with some shared community spaces and some private spaces where you could have your own short-term stay, hot tubs, dipping pools, spa space, regenerative farming showcased in things like container spaces. So we're getting really creative and creating an immersive, regenerative, and artistic experience. So there'll be a cafe with a cacao lounge, coffee, tea, live music. We'll be able to host events. So it'll be open to public and community. And then it also have like short-term on-site stays for people that want to get away, relax, go somewhere fun and inspiring, host a retreat, wedding, anything like that.
Awesome. Yes, I love it. And yeah, let me take the website off real quick. I just wanted to share that so folks could get a feel visually. But yeah, when I was selling tiny homes back in the day, we called it attainable housing. In Austin, if you're going to buy a house, like you were saying, it's kind of ridiculous. Like even starter homes, like crappy homes, were like over 500 grand. It's like, what the heck? But we had this like super posh tiny home community, so cute. The park models are like 399 square feet. They really feel like a home. I mean, just because it's a tiny home or it's on a steel frame or built in a factory or even these domes, you can really make the space feel large in like that outdoor living space. But I was actually browsing through some of your videos on YouTube, and you really did a lot of cool tours of like converted buses and vans and schoolies. So you're no stranger to this space. But to you, like, why do you think it's so important that people explore alternative living? And like, what's the bigger picture? Like, obviously you're in the weeds, you're helping people, you're launching a certification course. We can get into that to help train people to do this. But like, what is the fire in your belly like that has provided you the passion, beyond even like the attainable housing or like more affordable housing aspect? Like there's a bigger picture, like draw to change the world, right? Like what is it for you?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking that. I think the first time I really felt what it felt like to have passion for something was when I was 16 and I had taken an alternative math class. It ended up being a virtual enterprise course. So you start out by applying for what position you want in the company, and everyone pitches what ideas they want to start together as a class. And I started out as the marketing VP, and the business idea I had was called Extreme Events. And I wanted to throw really cool, super themed events that were like done to the max, like extreme events. And then a portion of the profits were going to go to foster care, something that my friend was involved in the foster care system at the time. And so her and I kind of partnered on this idea. The class ended up voting on our idea. I started out as the marketing VP, ended up getting super into it. Like I wasn't really expecting it, but I was like designing logos and I was like, hey, this is fun, had only really experienced like sports and kind of hobby, like outdoorsy stuff before that, and never really found kind of my spot where I felt like it was natural to me. But then when I started learning about how to run a business and how you could get creative with what you want to do and how you could monetize that and how to build out the team and put everyone in their different positions, and I learned how to write a business plan. And that really kind of started everything for me. from there, it was about like discovering what I wanted to do, like what. So then it was just about 10 years of trying out a bunch of different things and then looking back and being like, okay, what did I continuously come back to? What was the thing that, when I was at my lowest low in life that I was dreaming about doing? And it always had something to do with interior design. And so I knew at some point that that was going to be the thing, but I didn't know how to apply that into like the right business model. So I was doing a lot of custom designs, ended up getting super burnt out doing all of those builds. They were so fun. I absolutely loved them, but it was just such a up and down business model. And, as like a general contractor, which is essentially what I was, and a designer, you only make like 30% on top of everything. And sometimes even less than that, depending on all of your overheads. So it just felt like I was never really going to be able to build a model I could scale. So that's when I started to look at the modular housing. And so each experience kind of revealed a new piece to me of like what direction I wanted to go. And the eco-friendly part of it came in when I watched this documentary called Stink. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but I think that's what it's called. And it's a story of this guy who lost his wife to some kind of disease. And he started to question why his daughter's like Justice leggings smelled like toxic chemicals. And he ends up going on like this whole research and discovers that all of these toxic chemicals are in like everyday things, from, the synthetic fabrics that we buy from our materials to the stuff that's in the chemicals and all of our skincare products, all the chemicals they add into there.
And in paint and household products
and it was like,
the lumber used.
Yeah, so it kind of started at that. Like I started to become aware of like that reality. Like this stuff is causing people to die. Why are we using this stuff? Why aren't there more alternatives? So I just kind of went down years of just like researching and figuring out and learning like what to get rid of my life and what to kind of move towards. And then also you kind of figure out what's available right now. So that's when I started to do, when I launched the design and build, it was all eco-friendly. So I would use non-toxic paint in all the builds. I would use, natural stains on the wood instead of the ones with all the chemicals in it. So I would go as natural as possible. And I would always encourage my clients to choose the eco-friendly option if they had the budget to, or if they were down to like have a little bit more maintenance. So I would always kind of guide people in that direction. And I learned a lot about what some are along the way. And I'm always learning more. So that interest in, housing, interior design, and non-toxic materials came together into the agency, which is allowing me to partner with the vendors that are using the materials and non-toxic things that I want to be able to share and install and, build and create spaces for and help other people achieve their dreams. So that's kind of where it all started and how it's culminated to now.
Yes. Yeah, you have to have that like bigger vision drawing you forward, because it's hard to like, tap into kind of what could be in the future, but you're on a bridge getting there and it's like so many obstacles, but to overcome those day-to-day challenges to accomplish your like bigger dreams and bigger goals is really admirable. So you're helping people do just that with your certification. I saw that you have a website link for this, so we could walk through and show people kind of what that's all about if they're wanting to go on this path with you.
Yeah.
If that sounds good.
Absolutely.
Yay.
So, yeah, thank you so much. This is my first training, so I feel honored to get to share it with you and everyone here, anyone tuning in at any time. I never launched any kind of like training like this before, because I was like, if I'm going to do something like that, I really have to feel confident about what I'm talking about. And I really have to feel like I can help people. And so it started with just one person. I had a friend come to me. I told her about this idea of launching the agency, and she was like, I'm in, like, give me a contract. So I wrote up a contract, I sent it to her, and she was like, this is great. And so that kind of became the model for it. And then I started talking to other people, and other people were like, I'm interested. And I was like, wow, I'm a manifesting generator. So like I'm meant to respond. So I share and then respond. And I was like, okay, so I'm just going to keep responding to this. And so you can pull up the website now. We can talk a little bit about that.
I'm trying.
Oh, okay, no worries.
I thought I had it ready to go, but it turns out I had a typo. So no problem. I'm almost there.
Yeah, okay, we'll get there.
I think I had train certification instead of training.
Oh,
okay.
training dash
Got
certification.
it now. Here we go, y'all. Here we go.
It's lavendermoonspaces.com/training-certification. And this is the landing page for this first live training I'm going to be doing, which is basically just breaking down into 4 weeks, a 1-hour training where we're going to get to talk about the information that you need, really focus on the connection and getting to know you all, focusing on what it is that you want to learn, or maybe something that you're struggling with. So, for example, well, let me tell you a little bit about what this means. So getting certified. So as a New Earth agent, you will get access to all the vendors that I create the vendor partnerships with. So right now, traditional model is you're an affiliate, you go to a company, they usually have some really small percentage that they give you. This way, I go to them, I work with the vendor, negotiate as much as I can with them to tell them like, hey, these people are valuable, they deserve to get paid. When you sign on with me, you have a sales team of agents that are passionate and aligned with your mission and vision. So we're going to help you get into the space more organically because you're going to have people that actually care about your products. People are thirsty and ready for these things. So you're going to be able to access that without having to go to each vendor and negotiate each deal specifically. So you will get a commission on as much as I can negotiate with each person. We obviously want to create a win-win. We want them to make money. I want everyone else to make money. But the main thing here is that the thing that I keep seeing in this space, in the sustainable, regenerative community and development space, is so many people struggling financially. And so my mind, the first thing that my mind does is go, how can we fix this? How can we create a solution for this issue that seems to keep coming up and stopping people from being able to fund their projects or achieve their mission? And so one of my values for this program is that you always stay true to your mission and your vision and what is inspiring you and lighting you up. So if alternative living spaces like domes and container homes, and I have so many other products that I'm getting into the pipeline very soon, if any of those things sound like something you want to include in your project, this is a great way where you can get started sharing it with your community, and maybe someone else is already ready and you can share this information with them and get paid for it, because there just need to be more models where you get paid for sharing things. So, coming from my background as a real estate agent, I really thought about how much I loved that model of being able to make money, where it's like, you're not being paid hourly, you're being paid based on the value you're bringing, which is connecting the right person to the right thing or the right product or the right place. So I wanted to create a model like that for these alternative living spaces. And that's what this training is going to be all about. And my goal is to get you through figuring out, how to align your mission and values with ours so that we can move forward synergistically together. And then we dive into the product, so you get to learn everything that you need to know to be able to sell confidently. Then we'll be going into marketing, so how to authentically market so that you're not like making yourself do something that you don't want to do, let's do this authentically. And also just some simple sales strategies. My approach to sales is not really selling. I just build relationships with people that I like and put myself in the right places with people that are probably going to have the same, conversations as me. And I just I think there's just such an easier way that we can go about doing this. And I want to help everybody achieve all those goals. So that's what the training is going to be about. If you want to join, it's going to be starting on May 15th. If you can't join the live training, I'll probably, put all the videos into something that we can co-create together another time later. So I'd love to have you. It'd be amazing to support you and your visions and dreams. I'd love to hear about what your guys' visions and dreams are. And that's what I got to say about that. So thank you so much for letting me share.
Yeah, definitely. And hold on, let me. Am I back? Oh yeah, let me turn this off. I'm on a laptop that doesn't have a mouse, so my touchpad thing is like going all nuts. tech is not my strong suit. But yes,
You're doing
I
great.
think that's awesome. That's so cool that you're doing that. I wish I could do it too. Next week's gonna be so crazy though with the Exit and Build Land Summit. I'm like already trying to figure out how I'm gonna time block all the tasks. But it's really cool that you're doing that. I think a lot of people want to pursue this lifestyle and they just don't have, to me too, it's like you said, it's not sales. It's not, it's problem solving. I feel like it's offering value, and the more problems you can solve, the more money you will make. And that's what goes hand in hand. And yeah, there might be an element of sales to it, but honestly, it's like mostly knowing what and understanding what the client is wanting to accomplish, and then being able to connect them with the right product. And then, yeah, they might, obviously they have to buy it, but it's like you're aiding them in their pursuit of achieving their goal. So it's like when I was selling tiny homes, I really looked at it more so as like providing people a lifestyle. It was a lifestyle so they could live in community. It wasn't like, oh, let me sell this tiny home and that's the end of it. No, it's like, I'm helping you get set up so that you can live next to a farm, so that you can downsize, so that you can find the right floor plan that accommodates your needs and ensures that you'll have sufficient storage or whatever. If you can't climb up a loft, that we're finding one that has enough space downstairs for whatever size mattress. I mean, there's so much that goes into it, but I think that a lot of people are wanting to do these projects, but they have the land and now they need to figure out what next to do. Like even us here on our 10-acre property, like we have the land, we did 3 RV road-based pads. And now I'm even like, what do we do next? Because it can be challenging to find financing or to find the right option with your county that will provide you with the freedom to do it. You know what I mean? Like you can only have so many septic tanks. You can only, if you're going to do compost toilets, it's literally like outlawed in some jurisdictions. Like in Texas, they're like compost toilets are like this horrible thing, but like, you can still set them up, and it's not really as long as you're not like damaging the local waterways and stuff, and your neighbors aren't complaining. It seems like it's pretty much okay. Sorry, I'm going on a little rampage here, but there's a lot of things that go into it. And then if you don't have the land, you need to find out how to buy the land. And you're doing an investor dinner. So you're hosting a dinner not next week, but the week after that. And I'm planning to go, so if anyone wants to join, but can you share with everyone what's up with this investor dinner? What's up with, not that I'm an investor, I'm not. I just have a project that I would like to share with people so that we can find maybe contributors or people who want to have some sort of involvement in this project, this land-based project. And that's the point, right? So can you share about kind of what you have going on there, and if people want to sign up, how they can do so?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited to have you, and it is an open invitation. So there is, just like she said, for anyone that's interested in this, whether you have a project you'd like to present or you are an investor that's looking to find the right project to invest in, the center is really just about bringing all the minds to the table and seeing how we can help each other. Because I really just want to bring everyone together. We can all learn so much better and easier together. And I think a big part of the alternative lifestyle movement is about doing things differently. So I really want this to be a way where we can share information with each other so that we can all win in some way. I'd like everyone that walks away from the dinner to feel like they got something of value from that night that was worth their time and energy. So that's the purpose of the dinner. And then right after that, so that's from 5 to 8. And then from 8 to 11 is going to be a free social. So anyone is invited. And the intention with that is to just get like minds into the room. It's a green project focused. So green investors and green presenters and supporters of the green movement are welcome to join for that. So we're going to be having projects like regenerative land projects and potentially some other interesting ones, but a lot of land development projects. That's going to be the focus for that. We have a beautiful Zen den set up in this space where there's going to be a sound lounge, which is a vibrating acoustic lounge. There's going to be a little tea serving area. And we also have a large area here at the Expansion Mansion where we're going to be hosting it. So we'd love to have you here. Just get all the brilliant minds in the room and see if we can help each other, make some more connections to get this movement moving.
Yeah, absolutely. And I am all for this. I think it's important to find people connecting because some folks have the funds and resources, but they don't have the time and they want to see these impact projects come to life. And some people have the time and the energy and they want to like get these things going, but they don't have the funds. So this is so perfect. So I would like to switch gears and just first of all, thank you for coming to the Accident Build Land Summit and thank you for DJing. At one point, we had talked about DJing and doing the whole event, but then we did the VIP dinner. So now you're going to be the DJ for the dinner that we're hosting at Radical Roots Ranch, which is a land-based project, which is cool. So it taps into that. So you won't have to sit behind the board at the convention center. But we do have folks coming over who are going to be enjoying a nice farm-to-table meal. There's vegan options. There's KNC Cattle's going to be catering. So this is for our VIP experience. We're really excited to have you. There are still some VIP tickets, but can you share with folks, like, I know you were playing this one song. You did like this cool dance. It was like, the goddess is rising. The goddess. I hope you did that song. I love that one. But like, what can folks expect? What are you kind of thinking and vibing on?
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to be sharing a lot of original music. So my nickname is Glow. It's also my artist name, GLO. If you look up Glow, It's a Vibe, you'll probably find that song. And my music is a mixture of like pop, high vibe, banger to completely instrumental world, bass inspired music. And then we've also got some Goddess Rising type music. So it's going to be like a journey through the elements and through the different expressions of all of us. And I'm just going to be tuning into the room to see where things want to go for the evening. And I'll definitely be singing a lot live. So I'm just going to be really bringing all the ideas to the table and just, channeling it through in the moment. So it'll be a lot of live. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, and I remember too, at the Solar Punk Summit last year when the eclipse was happening, you were on stage for that. Your husband was too, right? He was with his brother. They were singing together, and they're called Cloud People, right?
Yeah.
That was awesome. That was like the best way to usher in the eclipse. It was so cool. That was such a cool experience. But there was like 20 or 25 musicians on stage, right? I can't even remember. There's a lot of people though. It was like a whole production.
Yeah, it was the Sound Healing Orchestra. And Angel invited me to play at Solar Punk last October. That was a huge growth edge for me. And it's been interesting to balance, business and design in this like world that, I spent so much time on with music, which I've like been so in and out of my whole life. But it's fun to get to be able to do this because I was like, what do I envision, my musical expression being like this year? And I really got clear on it. I was like, I want to like curate music for like specific events, like land-based events, right? So I like had this vision. Yeah. I was like, I want to do land-based events, like musical experiences. And then I was like, okay, that's all I'm going to do this year then. That's all I really am going to make time for. And then we start talking and then that part comes up and I was like, that's literally exactly what I would do. So
it's so crazy how that works with manifestation. Like once you get that clarity of what it is you want, and then you like really formulate and understand, have a grasp on that, and then like things just start like clicking and lining up. It's so weird, all the pieces to the puzzle coming together.
Yeah. And some things are so fast and some things just like take time. So
yeah, like I feel like our land project that we've been kind of like brewing and envisioning, like finding the right people, it's taking so long. It's taking so much longer than I thought it would. But I've had to remind myself, like, real estate is a different business exploration project than my usual entrepreneurial endeavors, which I'm used to like instant gratification, like instant success, like, oh, I'm going to go close CVS pharmacy on my tooth powder product. Done. Okay, let's go get Target now. Done. It's like, no, with real estate, it's like you are going to have to like really find the right partners, the right land, the right timing in the market. It's like, oh my gosh, so much. I'm not like used to this taking, it's like beautiful things. I feel like, you really have to find the right pieces to the puzzle, so to speak. But anyway, sorry, I'm going on a rampage there. And maybe someday we'll have our glamping and everything set up on a larger property. I know you're working on a property just down the road where we live here in Central Texas. I wanted to ask you about entrepreneurship, and then we can kind of wrap up. So you have a lot of various different projects that you're juggling. I like to have successful females who are, powerhouses going out there and taking over and like, claiming their power and really like setting the stage for like how you can, have it all and juggle all the things. So if you have any advice for folks who are wanting to step into their power, to really hone in on their calling, and whether that be a land-based project or something completely different, what would you have to say to them, and any thoughts there?
Yeah, that's a loaded question, man. So when it comes to, clarifying what, feels right to do with your life and what lights you up and how to move forward with that in an entrepreneurial way, it all just starts with, experimenting. And I've learned a lot through my human design. I'm a manifesting generator, and there's a whole profile that comes along with that. I also learned a lot through the wealth dynamics profile, and a lot of astrology, but those two things for sure really helped me figure out how to operate within doing the thing that I love. So it's like you have figuring out what is the thing that you want to do to make money, right? Because that's just the world that we operate in. And then there's also like taking it to the next level and actually living the life that you want to live, not just doing what you love. So there's almost like two phases of it. And, just getting into it from the entrepreneurial side, I started, 10 years ago, and there's so much more information available and so many easier ways to do it than back then when, it was like basically all I feel like I had was like the 4-hour work week. And now it's like you have YouTube University, and you have all these online courses that you can take, and you can really have access to anything that you want to learn. And I've learned so much like just by asking questions to Chat GPT.
Yep.
You really can figure out so much. It's just like I think the most important thing is deciding what community you want to operate in. And that could be for your area of work, or that could be for like your dream lifestyle. Ideally, you want to kind of have a pair of both of those, right? Like the work that you love and the lifestyle you want, like that's like dream life goals, right? So once you're kind of in that space, it's just about being around the right people, because like the traditional thing that they say in networking is like the golden egg, which is like your ideal referral partner, like the person that kind of runs alongside you, similar business, similar industry, but does something different. So I've definitely gone back to the roots of just like going out and networking in person. And that's after spending like 10 years just doing online marketing and organic marketing, and everything was all online based. And when I moved to Austin last year, I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. Like, I want to get out from being behind the computer. Obviously, I want to be living on land and be like barely on my computer. But right now, that's not the reality. So I'm just like, how can I be out, not on my computer as much? Or how can I be working with my hands more? And so, yeah, that's guided me down to trying out different things, different ways. But yeah, I would say just Chat GPT it,
Oh my gosh, it is so helpful. John was saying for so long, he was like, you need to use Chat GPT. It was like this big controversy. It was like, it's not ethical, it's a robot. But it seriously helps so much. I'll be like, make a talk description based on this episode title. And then they'll like pop something out. And then I'm like, oh, that kind of sounds robotic. So I'll go in and like make it myself. But like, you can even be like, make me a business plan for this concept or whatever. And it's pretty crazy. But at the same time, like, it's like having an assistant. Like, you're right. There are so many tools at our disposal. And we had baby chicks hatch. I have the incubator over there on Saturday. And I was like, oh my God, they actually hatched. What do I do? And I just like went on YouTube and started watching all these YouTube videos for like 4 hours about baby chicks. I'm like, okay, I feel like I know everything I ever could need to know about baby chicks from all these various perspectives. And yeah, it is. YouTube University is the legit thing. Or did you call it YouTube Academy?
I said university too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, YouTube University for sure.
Okay, so one guy, y'all, Dennis, has been very active here. Thank you, Dennis. And he is asking for your links posted. So I did put Gloria's website. Gloria, do you have any closing thoughts? Anything else you want to share?
Last thing I would share is that, you know, in this movement that we're in, this lifestyle shift, this radical time that we're in, you know, really going back to our roots, respecting the earth more, I think I'm just really starting to see that in a lot of ways, we're kind of at the beginning of repairing what's been done. And so with that in mind, you know, I just want to remind everyone to not get discouraged if this feels like it's going to be something that's a part of your path in a big way. I feel like, you know, you've got that calling for a reason. So just keep listening and just keep answering and trust in the divine timing.
Amen. Love that. Okay, so I have your lavendermoonspaces.com on the screen here to answer your question, Dennis. You can keep in touch with Gloria. You also have, you're kind of getting back into your YouTube channel, right? So if you type in Gloria Merrick on YouTube, that'll pop up. I hope I'm pronouncing your last name right, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another way to say it.
Yes, Merrick. I don't know. Just making sure. But if you type that in, and you have your like lots of different videos on there. So if folks are interested in this, if you're interested in, you know, getting to the land, but you don't have the funds to build a house, like living tiny temporarily, if you want to do it that way, or maybe just want to do that forever. I mean, like literally our park model tiny home that we had, it was 400 square feet on the inside, but then there was a loft, which was probably another 100 square feet if I had to guess. And then there's the front patio, which was like 12 feet long and like 13 feet wide, I think. I mean, it's like there's actually a decent amount of space in some of these rigs. And so just good to keep an option, you know, all your options open. But if you want to check out domes, glamping, if you want to maybe invest in a project like this or land-based project, there are lots of opportunities. So stay in touch with Gloria. And Gloria, you're going to be at the Land Summit, right? So yes, we'll see you there. Thank you, by the way, for joining us. And it was an honor having you on the podcast today. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me. Nice to meet you all in the virtual realms, and we'll see you in the ethers.
All right. Okay. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for viewing. Gloria is going to be DJing at the VIP dinner at the Exit and Build Land Summit. So definitely join us in person if you can. This is going to be at the Bastrop, Texas Convention Center. The website is exitandbuildlandsummit.com. Let me type that in for folks. That'll be in the comment section. We do have different passes. You can see all the options. You can see the schedule here. So we're going to be kicking that off next week. So I'm not going to do a podcast next week, obviously, because I'm in the thick of this event, but it is going to be streamed virtually. So join us for free if you want to watch from home for the first day and a half. There are some paid there's a paid pass if you want to get access to the more interactive element, for instance, community matchmaking. We're going to have David Holmgren, the co-originator of permaculture himself, joining us. We've got JP Sears in the lineup, Joel Salatin, Molly Engelhart, Jack Spearco. I think Dennis said he found us through the Survival podcast. So anyway, I hope you guys will join us. exitandbuildlandsummit.com. Make sure to follow Gloria's work as well. You can keep in touch with her at Lavender Moon Spaces And here's the link just as a refresher. If you can sign up for her certification, if you're interested in glamping and interested in being a new earth steward, this would be a great way to get your feet wet. Is that the expression? Get your toes wet? No, get your feet wet. I don't know. It would be a great way to get started in this space if you haven't yet. So hopefully you'll be able to sign up for that as well. Thanks, y'all, for watching. This has been episode 22 of Live Free with Rebecca. Really appreciate you all. Blessings, abundance, gratitude. I hope you have a great weekend, and I pray that you join us for the Exit and Build Land Summit. We are ushering in this new era of human consciousness, and we are regenerating the planet, regenerating the soil. And I hope that you'll join us, because not only will we have fun, but we're also going to learn a lot. So see you.